Hey guys, welcome back. So now that we have the duration in seconds, what we're going to do is convert it to this string format right here before we insert it into the table. So go back to here, and then underneath there, what we're going to do is say if, and then put a condition in there. It's going to be if hours is less than 1. So if it's less than 1 hour long, we're going to say hours equals an empty string, else hours equals hours appended with this colon like that. So what we're doing is just saying that we're either going to use an empty string or hours with a colon, depending on whether the video is greater than 1 hour or not. So if you go back here, you'll notice that these aren't an hour long, so we just have the minutes and the seconds. If it was an hour, we'd have also have the number of hours, so 1 or whatever with a colon, and then the minutes and seconds. And I think I've explained this before, but when you have a simple if-else like this, you can use a ternary operator, which is essentially a way of doing this in one line. So, like I said, I think I've shown you this before, but I'll show you again. You would say hours equals the condition, which is hours is less than 1, just same as we did above, question mark, empty string, colon, hours, combined with a colon like that. So this is exactly the same as that. All of that if else is exactly the same as this one line right here. We're saying if the hours is less than 1, use this, otherwise use this. Okay? So you can use this if you want to. If you're not comfortable with the ternary operators yet, you can use the if else. That's absolutely fine. But to save space, I'm going to use a ternary operator and do it in one line. So we'll copy that and paste it below and change this to mins like this. And this is going to be mins that way is less than, not 1, we're going to use 10 here. And I'll explain why in just a second. And if mins is less than 10, we want to say 0. So we're not doing an empty string this time. We're going to put a 0 there and then combine that with mins like that. And then combine that one more time just with a colon like that. So then if mins is greater than 10, all we want to do is just say mins and then keep this with the colon there. Alright, so we're saying if min is less than 10, use 0 on the front of the minutes number with a colon, otherwise just use minutes with a colon. So the reason we want to do that is because if this video is less than 10 seconds, so for example this one here is 8 seconds, we want to use a 0 on the front, because otherwise, if you look up here, it would come out like 0, 0, and then it would just be 8 for 8-second videos. But we don't want to use this for an 8-second video, we want to put a 0 on the front like that. So if it's not less than 10 seconds, it's fine because it will have 2 digits anyway, so it will come out like that, for example. But if it's only 1 digit, so if it's less than 10, we want to make sure we add a 0 on the front and then take whatever it is, okay? So that's great, mins is fine. Let's just do the seconds now, and it'll be very similar to minutes. Let's just say secs, our variable up here, and then put the variable in there too. This part stays the same, but without the colon. So just put the variable there and don't have the colon, so just 0 and then secs. And then after that, this is the else, we can just do the variable on its own like that. And that's it. We should have the string version of our duration now. The last thing to do is add it all together. So we can say duration equals hours with mins and then with also the seconds too, like that. Now we've added it all together, our string format should be ready. Now we can just insert it. So let's go and write our query. We can just write query equals this arrow con, which is our connection variable of course, and then prepare, so preparing our statement, and the query is going to be update videos, our table, set duration equal to, and put your placeholder in, which we can say is duration. I'll move this over a little bit so you can see, and just say where ID equals, and then put your video ID placeholder, which I'm just going to call video ID. And that's it for the query. We just need to bind the parameters now. So underneath that, just say query arrow bind param, and then we're going to bind the duration placeholder to the duration variable, and then one more underneath that. We just need to bind the video ID. So video ID was the placeholder we used right there, and just bind this to the video ID variable, video ID, which we know comes from here. We passed in as a parameter to the function. And the very last thing, just execute the query. So query arrow executes, just like that. And that should be good. Now I'll upload a video, and then hopefully it will call this update duration function, and it will then set this in the table. So before we do that, we can actually go and delete this echo duration. We know it works, but we can get rid of that. And then I'll go and upload a video again. So back here, I'll go and click a new video. I could have just refreshed the page, but that's okay. I'll choose my video again, and I'll just put some text in there, and then click upload, and then we'll see what happens. So I just uploaded the video and I just saw this error message about a non-well-formed numeric value. And the reason that is because we're getting this duration value as a string at the moment. I guess this script now returns it as a string. In my previous experience, I've had an integer return from this, but maybe there's been some update to the script, I don't know. But it seems I'm getting this as a string now. So all we need to do is just cast the duration in here. We can just say duration equals int, like that, and then duration, and that should be fine. Let's try and upload that again. So I'll just refresh the page and then resubmit the same form, and hopefully it'll work now. So now we don't see any error message, so great. Let's go and check the table. So I'm going to refresh this videos table. But now we see this 8 seconds here, which is fine, which is great. And although we saw error messages last time, it looks like it did work, so that doesn't matter either. So that's it. Now we have this value. When it comes to actually output the video thumbnails like this, we can use it right here without doing anything to it.